Welcome to episode 167 of the Fully In It podcast. On today's episode, I wanted to share my approach to home life and to business that quite honestly, I've had to learn the hard way over and over again. It's a way of living that is not common in this world, this fast-paced world that we live in, but it is so needed. Even though I have taught simple living for nearly a decade, and I've been an online entrepreneur for nearly as long, I'm still learning what it means to be living slow at home and to be steady in business. If those two ways of doing home and business speak to you, you are going to love this episode. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Welcome to the Fully In It podcast with Kate Saffel, a show for powerful moms growing life-changing businesses while showing up intentionally for their families. I teach you how to create a family-first and profitable business in less time by leveraging simple strategy, mom life-friendly systems, and above all, the mindset of going fully in it. You ready? Can we just acknowledge that living slow in a fast-paced world isn't always easy? It is going against the grain. It is swimming upstream. It is doing life differently when everybody else is on the treadmill of more, and busy. And it can be challenging to live slow with the way that our society is set up. With all of the obligations, the kid commitments, the community events, there's always so much on the plate. I'm curious if you feel this way yourself. If this was how you imagined family life when you first started your family. I know for me, I have always craved living slowly and simply. This has been one of our family values from day one. And in some seasons, it has just been easier than others. Like when we were traveling full time in our camper around the United States, we did that for several years. It was so much easier because when you're on the road and you're traveling, you can't have all the commitments, right? Your kids aren't in sports or ballet or classes. There's not a bunch of community events and responsibilities. So of course, it was so much easier. And we truly enjoyed and savored that time. And then it was just the right season for us to settle down in community, to get involved in a homeschool co-op, and for our kids to sign up for the things that they want to learn about and they want to excel at. And so when you are a slow living family in the modern world, and it feels tough, it doesn't mean that you give up. It just means you have awareness of how busyness can impact your home life and your rhythms, and you're always willing to reorient. But at the same time, I want to talk about this in the context of business, because when we are pursuing a slow or a simple life, we're trying to stem the tide of the modern world. That doesn't also mean creating a slow business. And I think this is so important for us to talk about because I often will see this with clients who tell me they want to take 5 years or 10 years to get to their goal for their business. And I think, why? Why would you give yourself such a long runway to hit your goals? Because inevitably what happens when you move that slow in your business is that you just don't see results and you struggle so much to keep your motivation and your momentum going. It doesn't create the ease that you think it will. It actually creates more stress because you're up and down over and over again instead of a steady rise. So we have to be careful not to confuse slow living with a slow business and not be afraid of really going for it in your business. Because I know sometimes what you may be afraid of is that if you really went after it and you were successful, Would you get too busy and then not be able to handle it? And would it interfere with family life? And, would it impact your ability to be the mom that you want to be? And so there is this conflict between the vision you have for your business and how it can help your family, and then the current right now and the fears that you have that if I actually went for it, what if it was a negative impact to my family? Well, I can tell you right now, as someone who has been an online entrepreneur for a decade and in my current business for 6 years, that this is just not the case. Okay, I want to reassure you that when you design your business with your family first and with your values in mind, you will never let it get out of control. But you also have a calling to help more people. And I know you know this. You've got gifts and talents that are meant to be out in the world. And when you move like super, super, super slow and everything takes you forever and you overthink every single step, it's using up your mental bandwidth, it's using up your time, and it's not producing the results that make it actually worth it. So I want to encourage you to really go all in on your business. And the key here is not going for a rocket ship of a business. Like, I'm not encouraging you to focus on hustling your way really fast to success. Instead, I want you to embody the idea of a steady business. And this means not paying attention to social media, because you're going to see all the sexy posts on social media talking about quantum leaps and going from $0 to $1 million in just a few weeks. And all that is click candy. It is meant to trigger your dopamine and your desire to get you to buy. And I really hate to say it that way, but that is just the truth. Very few people have overnight success. In fact, I've never actually heard a true story of anyone who's had overnight success. It's typically people who have been working on their business for years, and then all of a sudden they experience a big leap of growth in a short period of time, but they were building all along. So we have to let go of this idea of the quantum leap or the overnight success and focus on steadiness, because your family will thank you and so will your nervous system. So at the beginning of 2023, I had decided my word for the year was going to be steady and mature, because, technically I wanted to choose two. I couldn't decide between the two. So steady and mature. I committed to redesigning my business to be timeless, outside of trends, and I wanted to become known for the values and concepts I teach. At least in the coaching industry, and I can't speak for all industries, but it was starting to look like a lot of copycats, and everybody was looking the same. And I'm like, I just don't want to be part of this. I want people to show up to my social media, my emails, this podcast, and be like, there's Kate. This is Kate. This is who Kate is. This is what she stands for. Kate has always stood for these things. I hope you feel that way when you were in my community. And I want you to know that this is also for you, that you can also be timeless and outside of trends and professional and steady and known for what you do. It was important to me that my business reflect how I lead my home. Simple and purposeful, connected, and in service. In my home, we try hard not to rush or put too much on our plates. We live by our values and we let them guide all of our decisions. Sometimes we really mess this up and we say yes to things that we shouldn't. And there have been times where I'm like, oh my goodness, why did I do this to myself? And I'm sure you feel that way too. And this is normal. You won't figure it all out immediately, and then you have this like perfect home life or this perfect business where everything goes smoothly all the time. It's always going to be an ongoing process of refining and reevaluating. So you have to remember, why am I willing to do this? Nobody, I don't think any of us, I don't know about you, for me, right? Like when we became parents, did we sign up for easy? Did we think like, oh yeah, like our parenting is like super easy and, it's really fun and it's like, right? Like none of us thought that. I mean, it's the same thing with business. It's being open to the hard, and the meaningful, knowing that the challenges make us so much grateful for what comes afterward. You become so much stronger because of those challenges. And when I think of all the things that have happened in my life, I've gone through some really hard stuff. I wouldn't ever trade that for easy, because those challenges made me who I am. And your home life and your business are both going to refine you as a person and make you so much stronger. I want to offer you another perspective, though, on this slow living and steady business concept. Our world is kind of nuts right now. I don't know if you're kind of picking up on that, but like I look out at just everything that's happening and I'm like, oh my gosh, what is going on? It is nuts. That's a whole nother conversation. Our world is hurting for strong values and vision and people saying, hey, a busy life is not the best life. It needs examples of strong families doing life in meaningful ways and together. We are more fractured than ever in the United States and around the world, and this is showing up in our homes too. So there's this Facebook group, a local moms group that I am part of, and I just like read the post because I'm interested, and I just can't tell you how many families in my local community are hurting so much right now. They're hurting so much. They feel isolated. They feel broken. They feel broke, right? They don't have the finances that they need. They don't have the support that they need. They are struggling. They're struggling. And you got to think, what does it take for someone who is struggling to reach out in a public forum where there's like 30,000 people in it and share all of that? They feel so alone. They feel hopeless, directionless. People are in pain right now. And I don't know what it is specifically you offer in your business or what your gifts and talents are that you are thinking of maybe offering the world, but I guarantee you have something inside of you that would help the problem and help alleviate some of this pain. Here's the deal. You are the example. You may not believe that right now, but I'm telling you, you are the example. You may not think what you do matters, and it does. You get to be the voice of reason to other mamas in your community who are overwhelmed and they are feeling the pressure of modern life. You get to show them another way. The way you do home and business gets to show strong values and connection, longevity, building a legacy, steadiness, and an unbreakable foundation. The world needs this, but so does your family. You get to start in your home. You get to start in your business and let it extend outward. So if you ever feel like you're not capable, maybe you're listening to this right now and you're like, I just don't know, Kate. I'm going to ask you to ask yourself, why not me? Why not? Why not you? Why couldn't you? I truly believe that if you're listening to my podcast, you're reading my emails, you're engaging in my teachings, it is because you are meant for an intentional life and business. You are meant to lead in some way and be the example for other mothers and other families of how you can do life differently, to be a hope in a dark world that is hurting for another way. We get to create a ripple effect from our homes and businesses out into the world, but it starts with you. Are you ready for this? If you are called to this, if this is speaking to you, then you need to come into Expand Mentoring Membership for Moms in Business. This episode, if you're listening to this in real time, this is my last episode. It's my last opportunity to talk to you about Expand before doors close on September 30th. Expand is the community for intentional mothers and entrepreneurs who are here to make a difference in the world. It's bigger than money. It's bigger than impact. It's bigger than your identity. It is you stepping into your purpose, showing your family what it looks like for you to use your creative gifts and talents to help other people. It's about you creating a steady financial foundation for your family, because when your family has more resources, you can then go out and help more people. right? It's not just about your family anymore. Then you get to bless others in your community. You get to buy from local entrepreneurs, local mom entrepreneurs, and help support their businesses and their families. You get to switch from, buying the things you have to buy to buying the things you want to buy that represent your values. You get to give generously. But all of this starts with you building a profitable business that lets you put your family first and that you can operate in just 10 to 15 hours a week so that you can still stay in your primary role, which is as a mother. I teach all of this inside of Expand Mentoring membership. We will spend a year together, and I'm going to give you the tools to make a consistent profit in your business and to show up for your family and the people you serve in a meaningful way that creates a tangible difference. People feel it and they message you and they say, oh my goodness, thank you so much. Thank you so much for showing up. Thank you for doing what you do, because I don't know what I would do if I didn't have this. So come into Expand. I will support you. You will have an international community of other heartfelt and intentional mom entrepreneurs backing you up, and access to all of my resources, the trainings and the guides I have created on my journey of being an entrepreneur for nearly a decade and doing it with my family in mind. Will you join us? The link is in your podcast app, or you can go to happierinmotherhood.com/expand-membership. Again, that's happierinmotherhood.com/expand-membership. You can go there, you can read all about the details of Expand, and then you're going to fill out the application that indicates that you want to join us in the next round. You'll get access on October 1st, and our first group call is October 7th, and it is going to be a game changer. I hope to see you there. Okay, my love, I will see you all on next week's episode.